I think it is important for the agent to get trained and to introduce the idea, let's talk about marketing first. By that point, the seller is all relaxed and thinking about the plan. They are one step ahead of everybody else. Then when you are talking about the price, they are ready to talk about the price because they already trust you, because you have a plan. You understand what it takes to sell the house, to sell their property at the best price ever. And they will trust your recommendations and your suggestions. So I think to start with the marketing would be wise. What do you think?
Well, it's not for me to decide. It's what the home seller wants to decide, because I can go in any order. They're both sequential. I can begin with the marketing, okay, and then I can go to the price. And if I get to the price, I'm going to say this. First of all, Lucy, all pricing, I'm going to say this. Lucy, we provide our clients with 3 distinct pricing strategies. Some of our clients want to price their property based on the data, either through a CMA or an appraisal. We can talk about those processes a little bit later if you like. Some of our clients, and the reason some of our clients want to price their property based on the data, that's their strategy, is because they want to make sure that the property appraises out. They don't want to offend the pricing sensibilities of the buyer or the buyer agents, okay? Or they basically are not just selling for economic reasons, selling for lifestyle reasons. So that's strategy number 1. You got that? Great. Strategy number 2, Lucy, is some of our clients select what we refer to as the less is more pricing strategy. Some of our home sellers will actually put their home on the market a little lower than the data would support because they want to create competition.
And the bidding war.
And especially in an ascending marketplace, which we're not in right now, okay? Even though this is a very opportunistic market, okay? And I explain your great opportunity in a few minutes. And the other strategy, our third strategy, some of our home sellers select what we refer to as the retail pricing strategy. They want to put a little bit of a cushion on the price because they're anticipating that buyers are going to want to negotiate. So of these 3 strategies, Lucy, which of them philosophically seems the most agreeable with you? Now, let me say this, Lucy, with back just between us, you're no longer the home seller. Here's what I've done. Number 1, in the information age, data and information have the lowest value. Knowledge and wisdom have the highest value. So I'm not coming in as a data monger. I'm not coming in leading with data because I've asked myself these strategic questions. Number 1, what percentage of real estate professionals, when it comes to their own residence, overprice their own home? Almost all of them. What percentage of real estate professionals have access to all of the data? All of them. What percentage of homeowners have a price in mind before you arrive? All of them. What percentage of homeowners pre-COVID like the data? None of them. What does that make you? The bearer of bad news. What happens to the bearer of bad news? Shoot the messenger. That's why you've got to be more strategic. You've got to first tenderize the home seller with your knowledge before you get to the data. That's not going to change anything in terms of the data, but it's going to basically set the stage because you're not going to come across as an advocate for your research. It's not polarizing. You're basically celebrating agency that you and the home seller is one. You're representing them, and you're very consultatively as a critical thinking, as opposed to what a lot of the industry's been trained to do. Here's what the industry's been trained to do. To take out a piece of paper and say, Lucy, I went into the computer, okay, and this column here on the left, that's the homes on the market. That would be your competition. And I'm saying this mockingly. Otherwise, it might sound pretty good. This column, that's your competition. This is days on the market. This is list of sales price. These are withdrawals. Here's some macro and microeconomic information. That's a horrific way to begin because that's the data approach, okay? You want to begin with the knowledge approach, the consultative approach, the collaborative approach. Should we go with this strategy, or this strategy? Then you get to the data. And also, you can't hurt yourself by doing something that 100% of the industry has done at some time. We're an industry that actually uses the word comps. Telling somebody, let's take a look at the comps, is like saying, let's take a look at some comparable children. Anytime any agent has ever said, let's take a look at some similar homes, or let's take a look at the comps, every single home seller in America, Mexico, Canada, Europe, Asia has all said the same thing in a different language. But they don't have 5 bedrooms. But they don't have a new kitchen. But they don't have a swimming pool. But they can't walk to Starbucks because they're deeply offended because they don't think any home is like theirs. okay? And whether you call them competitive or comparative, they don't want to hear it. Here's what you should say instead. Lucy, let's take a look at properties which buyers will be evaluating at the same time they're evaluating your home.
Your home.
You've got to get beyond industry jargon, okay? These unchallenged assumptions.
I totally agree with you. And it does sound, it doesn't sound very comfortable. Let's look at some comps and then your comparing.
No, and it's also disingenuous because what buyer agent, after they show this home and the homeowner doesn't like it, is ever going to say, well, let's go take a look at some similar homes. It's a ploy. It's basically trying to manipulate home sellers, okay, into capitulating to prices they may not want by commoditizing their home. And moreover, it has the home seller thinking, why should we now listen to anything Lucy tells us? Because if she doesn't even grasp the holistic fulsomeness of this property, based on comparing it to homes that we know and we hate, why would we listen to any recommendation? So an agent absolutely eviscerates all of their value, all of their judgment, all of their wisdom by using that ill-advised terminology.